But first of all, thank you for having me on this interview, Nakam. So the question is about who is Thai Credit,
Yes.
right? Well, Thai Credit is the youngest bank in Thailand, right? And we are also the smallest bank. We are working and focusing on the micro SME. Basically, we are targeting to provide product services for the small business owners, small enterprise, and some of people would call it like mom and pop shops or the pokha meka, like that. And I think in the last 18 years of our bank, us being the youngest, and 18 years is like like a teenagers, right? So we have been the fastest growing bank in Thailand, which is something that we are very, very proud of. And I believe that we are now the largest in the micro SME, and a lot of our customers are actually these small business, small entrepreneurs. Many of them have never received a banking services in the past. So we are actually very, very excited, very proud of Thai Credit Bank, because we are actually helping a lot of all the small businesses to grow. And we are creating a lot of inclusions, right? And building a better community. I think that's what Thai Credit is about. Right. So then this is another interesting story, which is the philosophy that the Thai Credit is known for is called Everyone Matters. Okay. So the Everyone Matters is actually, there's a little bit of history to that, right? So when we started working on Thai Credit and then focusing on helping the small entrepreneurs, right? This is like a pokha meka, and they are very poor, but they are very productive. Right, they own a small shops, right, and they work like this for many years. They become an expert, so they created this business, but they never have access to capital, so they borrow money from the loan shark. Okay, so when we created the models, we built this Everyone Matters because we said that the small people are also important, right? We want to create a message internally in our office. They say, hey, you don't just look at the customer that has money, right? We have to look at the small people who doesn't have money, but they have a needs, right? And then you should provide that needs. So we created that values internally in all our employees, all the people, which takes quite a few years to build. Right? Because normally, in the old days, the bankers always look at, okay, if you are rich, then we give you money. If you have a lot of good business, then we give you loan. We look at it differently, right? We look at the capability, but they are productive, but they don't have money. So, we try to provide this inclusion. So that's where the value of Everyone Matters, because we say small people important, right? So we create this, and then when we study this, after a few years, we created the name for it, and that name is Everyone Matters, because we said everybody is important, no matter how small you are, right? But to simplify it, we say that everyone matters. It's like that. So does that fit with our values, as your question? The answer is yes. We actually build the values, and the name comes from the values, right? So again, we are actually very, very proud of this, right? Because Everyone Matters is our identity. Okay, Everyone Matters. This philosophy is not a cosmetics. A lot of people say, okay, I want to look beautiful. I want to look, different. So I put a lot of cosmetics to make myself look beautiful. That's not Everyone Matters. It's not like that. That is our real identity, and it becomes, our face, right? So it's not just something that we created, but it's actually because this is who we are. This is who we are, and that is what we call ourselves, which is Everyone Matters. It's like that. I tell you what I think is, okay, let me just answer quickly. The most productive time is 10 o'clock in the morning for me. So usually from 9 to 10, right, I have no meetings. Then I have a chance to basically build my spirit and stay focused on what I have to do for the whole day, right? And then starting at 10 o'clock, which is actually the first meeting. That is when I usually put the most important meetings, right? That's where your idea is flowing, right? Your ability to listen is very strong, right? So you can listen to people and then you can solve problems very quickly. So I like to put the most difficult, the most important meetings at 10 o'clock. Okay, so and that's how it started. But then, as I have been working in this bank for 10 years, and I think I'm like almost 60s already, and one of the most difficult things is that the job is very demanding, and when you are a leader, right, you have to have the stamina to carry that same level of rigorous meeting throughout the whole day, right? So I have usually 5 to 6 meetings on a daily basis, right? And I always come at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm probably the last person to leave the office, right? So the challenge is that every meeting becomes very important, not only the 10 o'clock, right? So every meeting becomes very important, and so the difficult part is that you have to keep switching your mind from one subject to another one, to another one, and to another one. And then how do you train yourself, right, not to lose your focus and stamina all the way until 5 p.m. Okay, so with a short lunch break in the middle. And that's how I found. And so my day eventually, one of the key things that I think is important to mention is that you have to like your work, right? And to like your work, and then there's so many factors, but let me keep it one simple thing is that people is the most important thing, right? So I like all the people who works with me, and that makes it so much easier, right? It makes it so much easier to solve all the problems because you work with all the people that you actually enjoy working with, right? Like means that you enjoy working with all of them. So it turns out that after we do that, then the whole day the meetings become very effective, right? And that's how my day is. So this is like I said before, every morning when I wake up, I really actually feel very excited about going to work. I always look forward to, okay, I'm gonna go to the office, and then today I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna meet with that people, and I actually send a message sometimes. Hey, don't forget, let's talk about this. So and I feel very excited every day actually. And the business that we are doing is also very, very satisfying, right? And it's not about just looking for the company growing. It's not just only because the company is making profit. That is, to me, is secondary. But because we are creating a company that makes a big difference, we are changing people's life, right? We are helping the communities to be better. I used to we used to walk the market and look at the customer, and then we see how their life is very, very difficult, right? And then being part of it and being able to help them grow their business, right? Giving them access. As much as what banks can do, what can bank do other than just giving them access? So we actually also created this Tangto know-how. It's a literacy program, right, which is actually become part of the differentiations of our bank as well, right? And literacy program is a social responsibility, right? And it looks like something that you should do because you want to fulfill your social responsibility. But the way we see it, right, this literacy program is strategic. It's actually part of the business. It is actually very important for us to do that. So we actually make literacy program as part of the strategy, as a big part of the business, right, that we stay focused doing them. So it's not only okay, we just do this, but every year, right, our literacy program is growing and growing together with the business, right? So we are now able to help 60,000 participants to join our program, right, on an annual basis. I think now almost 300,000 total members of the people who join our program. And these are, very low educated. They don't have a chance sometimes to finish high school, right? So we give them a learning on financial discipline, how to save, right? How to control their expenses, something like that, and how to educate their children also so that their children can have a better knowledge and better life. So we created all this program in the past. And back to the point again, that is a satisfaction of working and creating this. So when we go to the office, we feel like, let's create something good. It's not just a business. It's not just so that you can have luxury. I think that's not the point. Now, when we are doing that, right, we become very successful, right? When the customers are very happy with the business that you have provided for them, right? Then they reward you, right, by being our customers, right, by being disciplined, right, by basically helping us Thai Credit to also grow, So that's why I'm again, very, very excited about the company. My management style, actually, I never really think about that. I do it naturally. I do it the way that I want my boss to treat me. Okay? It's like that, right? So number one, first thing first, right? My management style, actually, I give a lot of freedom. I give freedom to my team members to make a decision on how they want to do their work. And I hate micromanaging, by the way. I am very focused on, basically, like I said, I give you the freedom, but you need to understand what you need to achieve. And then you deliver the results, right? If you deliver your results, like people used to say, there are many ways for you to go to Rome, right? Yeah, to Rome, right? You can go this way, that way. This is like an old saying in the old books, There are many ways for you to go to Rome, because everybody wants to go to Rome, right? This is in the old histories. So I said that's the same. Everyone should have their own freedom to do what they like, right? To do the way they wanted it to be. But we all have to go to the same directions, you see. We all have to go to Rome like that, right? We have to have one direction. So if you want to do things, do your way, but reach at the same place. So that's how we do it. And it seems to be working very well. The second thing is that I think, right, like I used to, when I was early in my career, I found it very, very beneficial for me when my boss, the person that I work for, right, is actually sharing his knowledge to me, not just send me to a training program, right? You send me to a training program, you do this, but I said, hey, my boss, right? Yes. You're good at something. What is it that you are good at? Why don't you share with me? Right? So this is something that I learned that, if I have that knowledge now, if I have that skill, I actually would like to share it to all my team and say, this is how I would do it, right? This is how I would do it. And then after that, you go ahead and do it, right? So I'm not going to do that just for you, but you do it, but I will share with you how I would like to do it, right? How I think is the correct way of doing it. And then we all have experience, and then a lot of our teams are younger, right? So we can share that experience with them. So I found that when I was younger, right, my career goes up very fast because I have been very lucky to have, all my bosses has been very good, and they always share and help me grow. And I do try to do that the same with the team members here. So when I see, I think a lot of my team members, they all grow very fast as well, right? And we have very low turnover on the management team. Right, and then that shows in the results of the company as well. So maybe that's just two things that I can share, and of course there are many other things, that seems to be working very well with me. That's a very interesting point also. I actually try to think about that for a little. So I look at myself, yes, right, when I was 20 years old, which I just graduated, right? I wasn't really thinking too much about my career at that time, honestly. I think the key word for that is explore, right? So I work for my family business, and I don't like it, right? And then I work for a big corporate, right? I like it, but then I left because I want to try a small business, So I created a software company, right? And I worked for 2 years, and I also don't like it. So I come back, right, to the corporate, and I found that, oh, this is my place actually, right? So I do explore around when I was 20 years old, right? And the 30s, right? The 30s is where I think I start looking at the focusing on my career. Focus, yeah. So the keyword is focus, right? I tried many different things, okay? And then after that, when I was 30, I just basically stay very focused on what I do, okay? And that's actually risk management. I become very, very good in risk management, right? And that's actually, I think, brought me into many other places in this world, different countries, because I have these special skills on risk management, right? So that's on the 30s. And on the 40s, I think that's when you have to grow, you see, right? You have to grow. At 40, I believe that I am mature enough, right? And I start to settle down, right? And I'm still very, very strong, you see, right? You're still very healthy at the time when you are 40, so you try to focus and you already know what you want to do, okay? And then now it's like, okay, then why don't you grow? Grow and grow and grow, and then make it bigger and bigger, make yourself become, more and more successful in what you like to do. And that's, I think, what I have been doing in Thai Credit also. Just grow and grow, help everyone around me to grow, help the company to grow, help the customers to grow. So that's, I think, that's how my journey was. And then now 50s, right? So now I'm more than 50s now. That's kind of old already, actually. I do feel old sometimes, and I think that's when you start to lead, right? Yes, to lead. And I think the way to lead is different. Like, I think the word is still lead, but it doesn't mean that I order people what to do. I was like, hey, you do this, hey, you do that, and I don't like that, right? Lead in this case is, why don't you help other people to grow? Help them, right? Help them become better. Help them become strong, right? Help them to be more mature, right? Help them to be a future leader. That's like that. And that's what I'm doing right now today, right? Basically keep giving opportunity for new people to try different things. So that's how I think, now I'm on that stage, I guess. And there is one more word, if I may add, right, which is learn, So learn is not happen in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, but actually all the time, and that's something that I always enjoy doing, right? I learn everything. So I remember you asked me about what is my most important time. Every Saturday I have this habit. At 10 o'clock in the morning, I make my own coffee, and then, right? You enjoy. We are one of those. What do you call the enjoy the coffee, and then it takes me like half an hour to make one cup of coffee, and I'm not very good at it. But instant coffee. Yeah, instant coffee. So I have this, gadgets and all that, and then I try to make coffee, and it's very quiet on Saturday. So again, back to the 10 o'clock in the morning, right? I sit and enjoy my coffee. And that's when I think about what did I learn this week, What have you done? Have you done everything good? Can you improve that? Can you make it a little bit better? And sometimes you look at the problems that you solve or the problem that you haven't solved. That's actually is the best time. There is no pressure, right? No one asks you to answer anything. And that's actually is a great time to learn. And I learned this, and so learning doesn't have to be when you are young, when you are older, when you have a problem, you just keep on learning. And this habit to me on Saturday when I do this, and I start creating this habit maybe in the last 10, 15 years, right? So I just enjoy doing that. It's a quiet time, right? And some people do it maybe 5 o'clock in the morning. This is also what I hear. Some of my bosses say, I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, and then that's when I do meditation, etc. I'm not a morning person. so my coffee and my 10 o'clock in the morning is a great time, to do reflections. I call it reflections. So learning, I think, is a lifelong journey, and I enjoy doing it. And that's what makes me, feel, humble all the time. Okay, be humble all the time because I feel like, oh, there's still so many things to learn. It's like that. So, the banking industry in Thailand, I think, is quite sophisticated. Yes, it's very good. And when we talk about digitization, about the automation, about the customer satisfactions with the product that they have, actually, Thailand banking industry is very, very good, which makes it very challenging for us as well, being the smallest bank. And that's also the way we see it. And I used to work in the big bank as well in Thailand for quite a long time, for like 10 years, right? So I understand that, big banks, they have many good people. They are very mature, very smart, right? And small banks, when you want to enter into the market, it's not going to be easy, right? You have to find where the gap is, right? Where is the opportunity for you, and you position yourself correctly. So that was one of the decisions when we decided to put ourselves in the micro SME, because it's almost like blue oceans in the micro SME segment, right? The difficult part is the customer. Customers are not disciplined, right? They don't understand about the banking product, so we created our positioning there. And so where is the future of Thai credit, right? And if you really look at the market in Thailand, it's quite interesting, right? There are, I think, like 50 million credit cards as the most, and 99% of people in Thailand have a bank account, right? 50 million cards. But if you really look at the people who actually use the cards, it's only less than 10 million, less than 10 million. And then that there are about, I think, 30 million adults, but only 10 million have a credit card. So what about the other 20 million? They don't have a credit card, for example, right? Just information. So 99% people have bank accounts, right? And everyone have a mobile banking. But Thailand is a cash society, you see, right? There's still a lot of cash transactions. So I feel that there is still a big opportunities, right, on the underserved by the banks, right, by the finance companies. When you look at the informal businesses, they're still very big size, trillions, they say, right?
50% of GDP.
Isn't it? Right? Something like that, informal businesses. So what is all these informal businesses? Why are they not in the, institutionalized, right? Why they, yes, right, all this. So I feel that there is still a lot of opportunities, right, in the underserved, right? And that, I think, gives us a strong, opportunities to grow into the future. And again, now Thai credit, we are only like maybe 2 to 3% market share in the whole banking landscape. Only very small, right? I think in deposit it's less than 1%. In the SME is about 4 or 5%. But in the total bank, we are very, very small. So we see then a very big path for us to grow in this direction, right? Provide service and products to the underserved. And the underserved doesn't have to be small businesses. There are many other things. And that's what we are looking for. Yeah, the easiest way to understand that. Actually, I do feel a lot of successes. My team has done, wonderful things, and I am very proud of my team. We should look at it like this. 10 years ago, I forgot exactly the year. When I started the bank, we are less than 20 billion. I think that was year 2012 or 2012, I think. Less than 20 billion. Today we are 180 billion.
More than 100%.
It's 900%, right? From 20 billion to 180 billion. So we are 9 times growth, right? And I think we used to get the fastest growing bank award. We didn't win best retail, we didn't win best SME, we win the fastest growing bank for like 3 years in a row. And I think maybe people get bored of saying that anymore because you say it too much. But we were the fastest growing bank, 9%, right? nine times. Yes, and even compare globally, banks that grow 9 times in the 10 years period, right? It's basically almost like 100% growth every year for this time period. I think not that many. So that's number one. And number two, I think our business model, by focusing on helping the customer, creating this everyone matter, focusing on building our employees and cultures, right? That also generates profit, you see. It generates revenues and profit, right? We are very efficient, we are very effective, customers are very happy to do business with us, right? So that last 10, 12 years, we always grow with profit. We never not make profit, right? And it's always growing. It's like that. So the business is growing, the profit is growing, and then we are creating now an average of 15, 16% ROEs. And at some point in time, we used to be 22% ROEs on an annual basis, which is by global standard. That's one of the highest ROEs in banking. So that's why we like to say that we are actually not really operate like a bank. We just have our own business model, but we are under the banking rules, and then we are taking deposit and lending money. So these models look like a bank, but actually internally the way we work, not really like a bank. It's like that. Okay, and so we built this business, and I think that's the biggest achievement that we have done, right? So we created a happy stakeholders, right? My customers first, second my employees, and the third my investors. They're all very happy too. So it becomes a very good dynamics, and that's a sustainable business the way we see it. So it's like that. So that's something that I think our team biggest achievement. Primary driver?
Yeah.
Okay. Formulas is one area, right? You need to have a very good formula on how to manage the risk, right? Well, you asked me something that I used to talk about. This is actually I create trainings on this in the past, yeah. So you need to understand the basic of all the risk management, and then you have to put all the formula and infrastructures in place. But the most important is the people who look at it. The people who look at it must have the right knowledge and understanding. And that's not enough though. And I think this is very interesting that nobody has ever asked me this, except when we are training our team, and I said, you have to act fast, you cannot be slow. Risk management, right? It's not like, oh, the fire is already burning the house, that's when you want to react. You cannot, right? When you see something small happens, you have to pay attention. It's like that, right? Smoke, right? Smoke means that something's going to burn soon, so you should put up that smoke. So every time you see smoke, people have to react fast, Don't be too late like that. Don't be lazy, right? So something like this. So this is again, it's not in a way looks like a secret sauce, but it's not a rocket science, right? It's not a rocket science. We want to be good for the community. That's number one that we have to do. Okay, and obviously I think we are still very small, right? We need to grow bigger, right? We want to see ourselves to be, to be a very successful bank, of course, to be one of the top banks. But we don't want to be measured by size, We don't want to be measured by just profit, for example, right? We want to be measured again back to the customer itself, right? We want the customer to be very happy. We want to serve more customers. We want to serve millions of customers, right? And basically, why can't we have everyone to use Thai credit, right? And then let us basically work hard to deliver what you need. It's like that, And like I said, the underserved become like a personal missions to basically grow and then serve people, right? For the gaps, for the things that they haven't received from other banks, for example. That's the way we see, right? But if we want to simplify, where we want to be, I think we just, want to be a good bank for people.